The street was lined with three-story brick buildings. Some of them had businesses on the ground floor and apartments above. Nicholas could see a butcher shop and a candy store and a dry cleaner. Music came from open windows. The heat was stifling. Clarence opened the back door and pulled out Nicholas's duffel bag. One of the boys said, "He's coming out." Another said, "Somebody called the newspapers." Another said, "Somebody get the red carpet." Nicholas stepped onto the street. One of the boys said, "Hey, it's nobody." Another said, "It's just some rich kid." "Hey, rich kid, give me $10. The boys crowded around. Clarence put his arm around Nicholas's shoulders. The boys started chanting, "Give me $10, give me $10. Then a voice said, "You boys, stop it!" And the crowd went silent. Nicholas's grandmother was on the street. She was short and compact and dressed in a black cotton house dress, and she was carrying a long wooden spoon. "You, Tommy! You, Angelo! Get away from here before I call your mothers!" The boys scattered. Nicholas's grandmother smiled and opened her arms. She said, "Nicky, caro mio," and gave him a huge hug. "I'm so glad you're here. Come inside." "Who's the African?" "The what?" "The airline pilot, with the bags." "That's Clarence, Grandma. He's Dad's driver." "Ask him if he wants to come inside," she said, and then shouted, "Do you want to come inside?" "Mr. Borelli instructed me to." "Capito," Grandma Tutti said with finality. "Just bring the bags." It was 5 steps up the broad concrete stoop, through a short hallway, then into a dark, cool apartment that smelled like bread, garlic, and old people. Nicholas's grandmother said, "Your room is at the end of the hall, on the left. Put the bags in there." Nicholas followed Clarence to a room with a single bed and a small desk. On the walls were posters and pictures and sports pennants. Nicholas stared at a black-and-white photograph of 2 young men. One was a husky kid wearing a baseball uniform and a cap. The other was a thin, nerdy-looking kid wearing glasses and a sports coat. "Clarence, look, it's Dad." Clarence peered at the picture and whistled. "So it is. I bet this is your dad's old room." Nicholas's grandmother was waiting with her purse. She said, "How much do we owe you?" "Nothing at all, ma'am. Mr. Borelli said, well, goodbye, Nicholas. Good luck." Clarence shook Nicholas's hand gravely, bowed to Nicholas's grandmother, and left them. Nicholas looked at his grandmother. She looked at him. She said, "Skin and bones, just like your father. Go wash your hands and then come and help me in the kitchen." His grandmother was stirring a pot of sauce with a large wooden spoon she'd used to scare away the teenagers in the street. Nicholas could smell garlic and tomato. In a frying pan were balls of something that looked like hamburger. "I'm making meatballs," Nicholas's grandmother said. "It was your father's favorite. Does your mother cook that for you?" "No, she doesn't cook Italian food at all." "Allora, what can you expect? She's not Italian like us. Never mind. So I'll teach you. Take this spoon and stir around in circles like this." Nicholas stood next to the stove and began stirring. His grandmother pushed the meatballs around in the frying pan. "I didn't tell your mother and father because it would only have started a fight. But your uncle is living here, too, now. His wife, the good-for-nothing, she threw him out. Stir the sauce." Nicholas made some more circles in the sauce. "Well, good riddance. I said it was a mistake from the beginning. At least she's Italian, not like your mother. God bless her, she's a wonderful woman, but why couldn't your father marry a nice girl from the neighborhood? But the other one, she's never been any good. Have a meatball." "Yes, Grandmother." "Don't call me Grandmother. Call me Tutti. Here." She stretched out her spoon toward Nicholas. He took the piece of meat with his fingers and popped it into his mouth. Nicholas's mother was a vegetarian. This was the first meatball he had ever tasted. It was the most delicious thing he'd ever eaten in his life. So he reached for another. Smack! His grandmother swung the wooden spoon onto the back of his hand. "For later," she said. "Anyway, here comes Frankie." Chapter 2. He was a big man, tall and wide. He had thick black hair and heavy black eyebrows. He was wearing a jogging suit and a gold watch and a gold chain around his neck. He dropped the gym bag in the hallway and started toward the kitchen. He wasn't smiling. He looked tired. He was staring at Nicholas. "Hey, Ma, who's the kid?" "It's Nicholas." "Nicholas what?" "Don't be an idiot. Your nephew, Nicholas." "This?" The big man smiled. "This is little Nicky. Hey, kid, how you doing?" Nicholas stood up and extended his hand. Frankie grabbed it and pulled Nicholas to him and hugged him to his chest. "You used to be such a shrimp. Look at you now," Frankie said, holding the boy at arm's length. "All grown up, sorta, huh? Where's your father?" "He didn't come," his mother said. "He sent the car. Mr. Big Shot too busy to visit his own mother." "Ah, you know it's not like that, Ma," Frankie said. "But what's the kid doing here?" "He's staying here," Tutti said. "His mother and father are going on a cruise. Nicky was supposed to go to summer camp, but the toilet exploded. Don't ask me. So Nicky's staying here in his dad's old room. Spending the summer in Bensonhurst," Frankie said. "G'd already? She give you something?" "I had a meatball." "Just one, right? You can never get more than one." Frankie reached for the pan, but out came the spoon again, fast. Grandma Tutti got him on the back of the hand. "One meatball," Frankie yelped. "One." "Out," his mother said. "Dinner's in an hour. Take down the garbage." "Come on, kid," Frankie said. "Let's get out of here." Frankie reached under the sink, pulled out a sack of garbage, and led Nicholas back down the hall, out the front door and down the stoop. The trash bins were behind the building. "Now that you're living here, this is your job," Frankie said. "Every day you gotta take the trash down. Got it?" "Sure thing," Nicholas said. Frankie put the top back on the trash can. He gestured at the street, which was empty now. "Did you already see the neighborhood?" "A little," Nicholas said. "Isn't it great? In the summer it's the best. You got stickball, slapball, Johnny on a pony, hit the stick, ring alivio." "That sounds like a skin disease. Is it a game?" "They're all games. You play stickball with a thing like a broomstick and a ball called a spalding. And Johnny on a pony, you'll see. There's a lot of kids your age here. I'll show you around. You'll make some friends." Nicholas remembered the crowd he'd seen around the Navigator. He didn't think he'd make friends with any of that group. He followed Frankie inside to a family room at the back of the apartment. Frankie flopped down onto an easy chair. There was a television in the corner. On one wall was a large crucifix with rosary beads hanging over it. On another there were framed pictures of Frank Sinatra and the Pope. Nicholas said, "You guys know Frank Sinatra?" "Not personally," Frankie said. "We don't know the Pope that well, either. But I almost met Frank one time. He was part of this parade. Me and a bunch of guys tricked old man Fornelli, the guy that owned the corner grocery store. We went inside like we were going to buy a soda. When the parade started, Mikey said, 'Hey, it's Frank Sinatra!' Mr. Fornelli ran outside. Mikey closed the door and locked it. We got Italian sandwiches and went up to the second floor. We ate the sandwiches and watched the parade while Mr. Fornelli pounded on the door trying to get inside. Beautiful." "So what happened?" "Nothing. We screamed, 'Frank! Frank!' but he didn't even wave." "Didn't you get in trouble?" "Trouble? Forget about it. I never got into trouble. I just caused trouble. It usually involved food. One summer we figured out how to get free pizza. I'd call and order a pizza to be delivered to, say, 161 Bath Avenue, apartment 1A. Then another guy would call and order another pizza for 201 Bath Avenue, apartment 2B. Both of the addresses were phony, but the pizza guy didn't know that. He'd drive into the neighborhood, park the car, and take a pizza into 161 Bath Avenue. We'd swoop down and steal the other pizza right out of the back of his car. Free pizza." "You never got caught?" "Never, because we were smart. We never hit any pizzerias run by Italians. We stayed away from the wise guy places. That's the lesson. You cross a wise guy, your history. Never forget that." "Okay," Nicholas said. "What's a wise guy?" "Oh, boy," Frankie said. "You got a lot to learn. But let's eat first." In addition to the meatballs and rigatoni, Tutti had prepared some kind of chicken and some kind of cooked vegetable that looked like salad. "What a feast," Frankie said as they sat down. "Roast chicken, and scadal, and the meatballs. Pass the macaroni." Frankie ate with gusto. Nicholas could see how he'd gotten so big. He ate big. 2 pieces of chicken, a huge plate of rigatoni and meatballs, and some escarole? That's so